Good evening, Pradeep Milam, Monroe Township. Welcome to Ms. Scott to the Monroe Township Board of Education.
Thank you.
And today I don't see our attorney. Any specific reason, or are we discontinuing our attorney at the board meetings?
He's coming about 9 o'clock, 9 p.m.
Okay.
He had a previous engagement and asked if it would be okay if he came late to the meeting. And seeing
Sure.
as we need him for closed session, I said yes.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So even though we started our referendum process, but the township is giving their master plan out now. So is there any correlation study or is there any impact study has been done with respect to the master plan and our current referendum in progress? Or are we planning to do any that sort of study or that sort of analysis that we are going to do?
Mrs. Chandler, would you want to answer that?
So we had an opportunity before we even did the presentation of the referendum, even before we did the town hall, where we sat down and we did meet. So during that time, I won't say that we discussed the master plan, but we did discuss the impact of the growth, the impact of the building and so forth, to whatever we were able, however far out we were able to ascertain how it would affect us before we put the referendum. So there was definitely a relationship that existed in conversation, but the master plan, I believe, goes beyond what we're able to do as far as years, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking at Ms. Arminio because I think she's more knowledgeable. It is my understanding that when we met with the mayor and the business administrator, and there was 2 other individuals there, I'm looking at Mr. Tague, I think it was a total of 4 individuals that represented the township. They went over current growth, current building, current approvals, permits that were pulled, and that was how we made our decisions.
Okay, but the current at that time is going to change in future, like probably in a couple of months, next couple of months. The new master plan is going to impact next 5 years of our schools.
Do you have additional questions? I know that we've been trying to have all of the questions asked up front and then,
Okay.
and then provide. Only, I don't want our board to be accused of
No,
favoritism
that's-
and not following what we've said we've been doing.
Okay, and I have only one more point that I want to bring up, and then you can answer it. So, our currently suspended BA, Mr. Gorski, there is a news that is going on the internet that he was appointed with respect to as a BA for some school district effective from September 1st. So I don't see his resignation or anything in the agenda here. So are you going to relieve him? Okay.
It was on the agenda.
Probably I might missed out.
And
So
the board.
it's not there till morning, I saw in the online version of it. So, okay. So are you going to relieve him without concluding whatever the suspension reasons? And as a taxpayers, he's without town, like I don't want him to go without clearing the air. So either you should conclude the investigation and then give him an all clear, or he's going with suspension still effect. Like what is the process, like how we are going to release? Because he's there with the township for like 20 years. We don't want to send him with some investigation still going on. If you can keep him for like next couple of months and then clear the suspension or like conclude it. We don't want to send him in an inconclusive manner, right? It might affect his job, his future job, and it might affect our whatever the knowledge he has with our district and everything.
What I can say is the Board of Education received a letter of resignation this afternoon about 2:30 p.m. Came through the board attorney to myself and Mrs. Chanley. It was shared with the members of the Board of Education, and we voted on that tonight to accept. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to speak about personnel issues or anything further at this point. I can tell you, Mr. Malam, as the Board of Education President, I take my responsibility here very seriously. If there was ever anything that came before myself or the board that should have be forwarded on somewhere for some type of, further action, we would absolutely ensure that that is done.
No,
and-
but you need to understand the perspective from the taxpayer's money. He has been sitting at home for the last 6 months or 5 months, and he's drawing the same salary without doing any work on suspension, and you just let him go. Like, what we are doing, like, we are just like paying him like free checks, free paychecks, or like, this is not a charity. Even though this is public money, this is not a charity. So everybody has to earn their pay.
I understand your concern, and unfortunately, I'm not allowed to discuss any of the personnel
Okay.
matters.
The last point I want to make is there is no quid pro quo with this particular leadership and the BA as it existed when he was found guilty in the previous time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malam.